Hey guys, it's Shauna from Cole Creations. I was just going to drop in and give you a quick tutorial on just a few basic things that you need to start an embroidery project. I had a couple of people message me this week and ask me, they're new to the craft and they don't really know what they have to have. So I was just going to show you what I use. I have been monogramming and embroidering applique since 2012. There wasn't a whole lot of help back then, even on YouTube wasn't a lot. So now YouTube is a wonderful tool to learn how to do this. So I thought I would show you what has helped me. I've had a lot of trial and error, a lot of complete fails. So I was just going to show you what I use that works for me in my shop. First thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have a good quality blank, whether that be a boutique quality shirt or like a towel of some sort or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your gift is going to be. Then you're going to need to make your design. You're going to need to look online and go to whatever designer is your favorite, purchase your design. These two that I've got here are Easter designs. I've got a girl design and a boy design. The next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have your fabric choices. I'm not a fabric snob per se, but I do like quilt store quality fabric if I can get it. It feels different to me. I like to go and I like to touch it because quality fabric is soft and it's thick. If it's a cheaper type fabric, it's usually pretty coarse and it has a tendency after you wash it to fade or bleed off onto your blank. So I do sell my projects on my Etsy shop to customers, so I do not want that to happen to them if they purchase something of mine. I buy very good quality blanks, good quality thread, good quality fabric for that purpose. I want repeat customers. I want them to come back to me. I want my design to actually outlive the shirt. So I do spend extra money on that. That's a personal preference. If you're just starting out and you don't have the money to buy really expensive fabric or whatever, that's fine. I did the exact same thing. I bought my machine secondhand. It was used. It was a one needle baby lock machine. I still have it because it's a wonderful machine. I just didn't have the money when I first started out to spend a whole lot because I didn't even know if I was going to like the hobby. So I didn't want to, break the bank with it. I did find out after buying cheap supplies and stuff that, it just didn't hold up as well. It depends on what you're doing it for. If you're doing it for you or your little one and you don't really care that it lasts a really long time, then that's fine. You just need to test stuff yourself. Wash it, test it, see what it looks like after it's washed. That may work perfect for you. You may not have a quilt store that's local to you. If you don't, you can go to like Missouri Star Quilt Company online. They have wonderful fabric. Then you can go to Walmart and buy something that's pretty cheap. They've got some good quality fabric there too, and then they've got some that's cheap. So touch it, feel the difference, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, you pick out your shirt, you pick out your design, you pick out your fabrics. The next thing you're going to need is thread. My favorite thread is Floriani polyester thread. It's very shiny. It has it's like a sheen to it, and rayon is not my favorite. I do have some rayon thread. It's just not my personal favorite. Some people love it, others don't. Polyester does not bleed off on anything. It's color fast, so that's one reason that I like it. Plus, it's very strong. And in commercial machines, like I've got two Brother 6-needle commercial machines, and they go very, very fast. And so you want something that's strong and can withstand a lot of stitches and a lot of speed. I've got a backup thread company that I use when I can't get Floriani. I don't have a Floriani dealer that's local, but I do have an Exquisite dealer that's local. Can you see that name? I'm not sure. It's Exquisite, and it comes from Ken's Sewing and Vacuum in Florence, Alabama. They'll mail it to you if they're not close to you. They are local to me, so when I have the time, I can go by there and get my thread. They have tons and tons of colors to pick from at a very good price. but they will mail it to you, and I think at some point there's free shipping. I can't remember what the cutoff is, but there's free shipping. Those two are my favorite threads, so that's where I start with those. The next thing that you've got to have is embroidery scissors. There is hundreds of different types of embroidery scissors. You're going to have to pick the one that works best for you. This is my favorite. Let me see if I can get this up here and see it. There's a very sharp point on it, and it's very thin, but they have a curve in the arm right here. These are called double curved embroidery scissors, and let me show you why they're my favorite. Okay, so let's just say that here's your hoop. This is my 6 needle hoop, so it'll look a little different if you've got a 1 needle, but same principle. So you got your stabilizer, and just imagine you've got your shirt hooped on here, and you've already started your applique, and now you need to trim around it. So you've just got a regular pair of scissors. They're straight, pointy. Alright, so you're trying to cut, let me see if I can hold this where you can see it on the camera. You're trying to cut around your fabric, and you're pointing down like this, because you're trying to point and cut, because you got to try to get all the way around it. But the problem is you're going to cut a hole in your shirt if you're not careful, because you're pointing down like this. There's no way to have it lay flat up against it so you can cut and make all the curves necessary. So you're doing this. So the difference in these scissors is their curve actually sets over the hoop. And see how the scissors are pointed upward? That way when you cut, you're not pointed down, you're pointed up. So now don't get me wrong, you can still cut a hole in your shirt, because, you know, life is just unfair and it's awful, and you want to scream when that happens. So as a seasoned embroiderer who doesn't like to lose her religion because I've cut a hole in my shirt 5 times in a row, I decided to find scissors that worked better for me. So these will set over the hoop, and they set up with a curve. And so that's my recommendation. I have had those for years, and I will try to figure out which website it was that I got it from. I think I still have the name, and I will put a link below this video if they still carry these scissors. If they don't, I do know that there are some on Amazon, and I know Ginger, the brand Ginger, makes some. But you'll just need to look for double curved embroidery scissors. But I will put a link to something that is similar to this if they don't have these. These have no brand name on them whatsoever. They're just double curved embroidery scissors. But they work really, really good for me, and I know that you would like them too. So maybe that'll help you out if you're struggling with that. Next thing that you got to have is a good stabilizer. The stabilizer that I use is this same brand, Floriani, and it's called No Show Poly Mesh. And if you can see, let me see if I can show it to you. It looks woven. Can you see that? And what it is it makes it stronger because it's woven. It's strong this way, it's strong this way, and it's strong corner to corner. You can double it if you need to. If you've got something that has a lot of stitches in it and it's a really dense design, you can double it. If you've ever saw a child that has on an applique shirt and it looks like it's sticking out from their body and they're wearing a shield, it's their stabilizer. The stabilizer is really thick. Now it holds applique well. The thicker stabilizers, they hold applique really well, but the kid looks like they're wearing a shield. And if you look real close, a lot of times you can see the outline around the design where people cut around it when they were finished. It's just so thick you can see it through the shirt. I don't personally like that. So that's why I went to this, and I've been using this now since 2013, I believe, 2014. It's soft. See how soft it just wads up. And then when you wash it, it obviously gets softer over time. But it's still sturdy, regardless of whether it's thick like theirs or it's thin like this. Plus, it's no-show, so you do not see it behind the design on the outside of the shirt. You don't see that, and the kids don't look like they're wearing a shield. So that's my favorite. There's lots of different brands of that. There's Floriani, and then there is all types of different brands. So you just have to pick your favorite. I will put a link to this in the video as well for what I use. The last thing that I'm going to show you today is I'll use this behind every single one of my appliques, and it's called Heat and Bond Light. Let me open it up and I'll show you what it looks like in the store. You're going to see this label. They have it at Walmart. They have it at Joann's. They have it at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure Michael's, any places like that's going to have it. I'm sure it's probably on Amazon. I'll put a link to wherever I can find it so you guys will be sure that you're getting the right one. But you have to make sure that it says light because that's sewable. If you don't get the light, it'll break your needles when you go to sew because it's not meant to sew. It's just meant to bond. What this does, you can see, it has like a rough texture on the back. That is what bonds to your fabric. And when I say bond, what I mean is you're going to have your design and say you're going to do this bunny rabbit design. So you're going to cut like say a 4x6 piece of fabric. Okay? Then you're going to cut a 4x6 piece of Heat and Bond Light. You're going to go over to your iron and you're going to take your piece of Heat and Bond Light. You're going to turn over your fabric to the wrong side and you're going to bond it to the wrong side of your fabric. You're going to take your 4x6 piece, you're going to put it on the back of your fabric, of your 4x6 piece of fabric, and you're going to iron it. Alright, then you're going to peel off the backing paper and it's going to look shiny. Okay? So then you go to your machine, you stitch out your placement line so you know where your bunny rabbit's going to go. Alright? Then you take, let me get this folded back up so I can show what it looks like. You take your fabric that has your Heat and Bond Light on the back of it and you lay it over your placement line and you stitch out your tack down stitch. Okay, it's just going to be one stitch that makes the outline of the bunny rabbit. Then you're going to take your applique scissors and you're going to cut all the way around it, trim out the bunny rabbit. Okay, the Heat and Bond Light's going to make that job easier because your fabric's not going to fray because it's got the Heat and Bond Light on the back of it. Alright, so now you've cut your bunny rabbit all the way out. You're going to go to your iron and you're going to press it. And that's going to bond the outline of this bunny rabbit to your shirt. It's going to bond the fabric to your shirt. Now you're going to go back to your machine, put it on there, and it's going to stitch the satin stitch down on top of it. And that has completed that portion of your applique. And now this fabric is bonded to your shirt. So it's not going to lift. It's not going to look like it has a bubble underneath it because it's bonded. It's glued down to the shirt. Okay? So that makes all of your appliques look more finished, professional, crisp is the word I think I'm looking for. It's going to look crisp. It's going to look done. It's going to look smooth. So I do not do an applique whatsoever without Heat and Bond Light behind it. Now, if you're doing a raggy design where you want the edges to fray, you cannot use Heat and Bond Light because it will not fray. So that's your personal choice right there, depending on your design. But any other type design that you're going to be doing besides a raggy, you can use it. And it's going to bond your fabric to your shirt, and then it's going to look completely finished. So that is some of my tips and tricks. I do plan on doing another one on how to center your shirt so your design is in the center and it's not too far to the left, too far to the right, too close to the top, or too far down over their belly button. So I'm going to do that as soon as I can. Message me any questions you may have. I will be more than happy to help. Have a good day.